Welcome back to another video. Hope you are having a great day. And yes, it's not the first time that we see this awesome ultrabook right over here on the channel. We have seen it a couple of days ago where we did generate quite a few images generated by AI, unlimited and for free. So if you have missed that video, I will leave a link right over here just in case you want to check that out. The experience was awesome, and using this ultrabook with this 2.8K OLED display, it was even better. Now this is the Asus Zenbook S13 OLED, which is the thinnest ultrabook on the market with a OLED screen. Check out the thinness of it. It has 1 centimeter thickness on the thickest part. It only weighs 1 kilogram and it has Windows 11 Pro. Now if you are watching this video on your Windows 10 or 11 computer and you still haven't activated, don't forget to check out KeysFan, where you can find budget official OEM keys at an affordable price, and with the coupon code that you can see on screen and down below on the video description, it will get a bit cheaper. So just in case you want to check that out, I will leave the link just next to the Asus Zenbook S13 OLED. And one of the things that you might want to check out there is all the information about the sustainability on the building process of this laptop, which is awesome. Now, starting with the unboxing, one of the things that we will be able to see is that everything is made of recyclable materials. So Asus has done a great job right over here, starting with the unboxing experience. Now we will find the Asus Zenbook S13 OLED, some documentation, and a fast USB Type-C charger. Now, as always, when we open one of these devices, it's always a excitation, but after a few minutes configuring Windows, the machine is ready to be used. Now, for those that are a bit lazy, you don't even need to put in your password because we have a facial recognition on the S13 OLED, so we just need to use the camera, which is integrated. Now, one of the things that we will feel is when we pick it up, I know that it has 1 kilogram, but it doesn't feel like 1 kilo. If you asked me before I looked at the spec sheet, I would say that, I don't know, 600, 700 grams. It feels really lightweight, and this is because of the materials that it's using. All metallic, with the exception, of course, of this awesome keyboard right over here, which is a keyboard that we are used, very comfortable and backlit, but everything else is metal, with the exception of these rubbers here on the bottom, but everything else metal. So it's the perfect machine for portability, 13.3 inches. Now, there are 2 colors. This is the basalt gray, I think it's the name, and there is one more, which is the ponder blue. Now, I don't have any sample in blue, just this one right over here, which honestly for me is the one that I prefer. But if you want something with a bit of color, then ponder blue is a nice option. If we look at this cover right over here, it's also curious, and there is a lot of information on the Asus website, which I will leave down below. This is a aluminum ceramic plasma, which is exclusive by Asus. One of the things that I enjoyed to read is that on the process of making not only this but all the laptop, but in particular this cover right over here, was that they did not use any chemicals or organics. They only used water. So awesome for the impact on our environment. And this laptop is probably the most sustainable available on the market because of the way that it was built. This is not only good for the environment but for the user as well, because the final result is a stronger product with more durability. And if talking about durability, it has military grade, and when that lifespan is over after many years, then what happens is that most of the materials used here are recycled as well, so it can be used to build another machine with a new CPU and so on and so forth. But for now, this is good for quite a few years. I would say that at least for a decade, depending on the type of work that we do, it's great. Let me just sign in right over here with the camera, and there we go. Now, 2.8K resolution right over here, which is 2880 by 1800 with an aspect ratio of 16 by 10, 550 nits of brightness with Dolby Vision, HDR and low blue light emission. Now, one of the things that we want to use is obviously this screen, But if we are not selfish and if we want to share this with someone, there is something that I really enjoy, which is this 180 degrees that I can just do it like this and share with my family, with my colleagues, and so on. But honestly, I prefer to use it just for myself like this. If we are going to use it like this to enjoy multimedia content, for example, then we will take advantage not only of the display but also the Harman Kardon speakers that are right over here with intelligent amplifier, Asus audio booster, and Dolby Atmos. In terms of ports, it has two Thunderbolt 4 ports right over here on this side. It also has an HDMI 2.1, USB 3.2 generation 2, and a combined audio jack. It boasts a long-last battery and it lasts for a full day. Of course, depends on the tasks that we are doing, but for productivity, it will last a full day. It has a 63 watt-hour battery that charges up to 70% in 49 minutes. And yes, 49 minutes, 70%, why not 100%? Because the way that Asus decided, and this is not the first time that they are doing this, is to make sure that the battery lasts as long as possible, and that is why it charges fast up to 70%, and then the rest charges a bit slower, so that in 4, 5, 6, 7 years we still have a great battery capacity. And if you need the ultrabook for, I don't know, a video conference or a meeting, something like that, then it has a full HD webcam right over here, which adds some changes as well to achieve this thinness. But in terms of image quality, and right now recording with the integrated webcam on the Asus Zenbook S13 OLED, and for what I can see on screen right now is that the image quality is not only good for video conferencing, but probably as well for some content creation. I would say if you want to record some gameplay, we can just add our screen and do all sorts of scenarios. Now, in terms of the image quality, it looks awesome. In terms of audio, we are going to hear almost at the same, because I will edit first, then I will publish. But for what I can see right over here, just a great result. And lastly, we have the Ergosense Touch Pad, which is really accurate, soft, and it is a great combo that we already are used on Asus machines, keyboard and touchpad. Now, in terms of comparison, the only touchpad that I can see similar to this is the one that I use on my MacBook Pro. It's the only thing that when I touch one and the other, I can say, okay, similar touch, similar precision, similar this and similar that. Now, specifications. This machine, if you look at it like this, ultrabook, we would say, okay, so this is probably something that doesn't have an i7, but it does. An i7 13th generation processor with 10 cores and 12 threads, Iris X graphics, and a lightning fast 1TB PCI 4.0 SSD, 32 GB of RAM, and Wi-Fi 6E for enhanced connectivity. Now, some really nice numbers, and I'm sharing them with you at this moment. I think with PCI 4.0 on the SSD, we are hitting about 3000 megabytes per second reads and on writes. Have in mind that I'm recording the screen, so when I stop recording, those numbers will jump to 3000 more or less on the writes as well. Geekbench and Cinebench just for curiosity, but the results showcase that we have a CPU with 10 cores, 12 threads, which is capable of doing any task, design, After Effects, motion graphics, whatever we want to do, especially those that task the CPU and RAM really hard, like After Effects, we will be able to. Now, the only thing that it will not be capable of doing is probably playing those eye-demanding games. We will be able to play some games, but not with everything at maximum. But if you want to do that, there is a solution. It has to support Thunderbolt 4, and that means that we can connect an external GPU right over here. Now, if we connect the GPU, we can take advantage in several ways, playing on the internal display, or even better, playing on an external display. And in my particular case, I did connect with an NVIDIA RTX 3080, pushing this machine so we can have the best of both worlds. When I'm outside on portability, I have a lot of battery duration and a lot of power, a slim design, really cool looking machine. And then when I arrive home, I can just connect one cable and I will have an external GPU connected to my display, my mouse and keyboard and whatnot. And this will be a monster monster for gaming during your evenings. Now, we have done some testings here on eGPU scenarios with several laptops, including Asus laptops. I will leave some links right over here so that you can check that out and see if you want to go that route or not. I enjoy to play, but honestly, lack of time prevents me to play more games. And that being said, hopefully this video was helpful in some way, especially to know a little bit better about the Asus Zenbook S13 OLED, which is the slimmest laptop or ultrabook on the market with a OLED screen, which is just gorgeous. If that was the case, don't forget that usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto George, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.